The shadow in the city that never sleeps. What if the devil himself whispered commands through a neighbor's dog, turning a quiet postal worker into a nightmare stalking the streets of New York? Or was it all a twisted hoax to mask a deeper rage? In the sweltering summers of 1976 and 1977, a killer known as the Son of Sam plunged the Big Apple into a frenzy of fear, where lovers' lanes became killing grounds and every parked car hid potential horror. Young women dyed their hair blonde to evade his gaze, couples shunned the night, and the city held its breath as taunting letters promised more blood. This is the chilling saga of David Berkowitz, the man who terrorized a metropolis and left a trail of questions that still haunt us today. A troubled seed, the making of a monster. David Berkowitz's story doesn't begin with gunfire in the dark. It starts in the shadows of abandonment and inner turmoil. Born Richard David Falco on June 1, 1953 in Brooklyn, he was given up for adoption by his biological mother, Betty Broder, a waitress entangled in an affair with a married businessman. Adopted by Pearl and Nathan Berkowitz, a hardware store owner, and his wife, young David grew up in the Bronx as their only child. But beneath the surface simmered a storm. Bullied for his Jewish heritage, he endured head injuries as a kid and spiraled into petty theft and pyromania, setting over 400 fires across the city by his own later admission. His adoptive mother's death from breast cancer when he was 14 shattered him, and his relationship with his father's new wife turned toxic. Enlisting in the U.S. Army in 1971, Berkowitz served honorably in South Korea, but upon discharge in 1974, he plunged into isolation. Working odd jobs, like a cab driver and later a postal sorter, he tracked down his birth mother in 1975, only to uncover truths that crushed his identity. He was unwanted, a product of infidelity. This revelation ignited a seething resentment toward women, a psychological fuse that would explode into violence. Neighbors described him as a loner, awkward and unassuming, but inside, Berkowitz harbored fantasies of revenge against a world that had rejected him. The first shots. A summer of blood begins. The terror ignited on a humid July night in 1976. In the Pelham Bay section of the Bronx, 18-year-old Donna Lauria and her friend Jody Valenti, 19, chatted in Valenti's parked Oldsmobile after a night out. Suddenly, a stocky man with short, curly hair approached, pulled a .44 caliber bulldog revolver from a paper bag, and unleashed 3 shots. Lauria slumped dead instantly, her blood staining the seat. Valenti survived a thigh wound, screaming into the night. 10. Police dismissed it as a random act at first, but this was the spark of a rampage that would claim 6 lives and wound 7 more. The attacks escalated with chilling precision. On October 23, 1976, in Flushing, Queens, Carl Denaro, 20, and Rosemary Keenan, 18, were targeted in their parked Volkswagen, Denaro's long hair possibly mistaking him for a woman. Bullets shattered the rear window. Both survived, but the pattern emerged. Young couples, lovers' lanes, a killer who struck without warning. 10. By November 27th, Donna Damasi, 16, and Joanne Lomino, 18, faced the horror in Floral Park, Queens. Approached by a man in military fatigues asking for directions, he fired wildly, paralyzing Lomino for life. 10. The city whispered of a phantom predator, but the real nightmare was just unfolding. Escalation and the taunts. The Son of Sam reveals himself as winter thawed into 1977. The killings intensified, turning New York's nights into a game of cat and mouse. On January 30th, Christine Freund, 26, and her fiancé John DL, 30, were ambushed in their car after a movie. Freund died from 2 headshots, her blood pooling as DL escaped with minor wounds. 10. Then, on March 8th, 19-year-old Virginia Voskerichian was gunned down walking home from class, her books scattering as a bullet tore through her face. 10. Panic gripped the city. Women cut their long, dark hair short or dyed it blonde to defy the killer's apparent type. Discos emptied early, and the NYPD launched Operation Omega, the largest manhunt in history with over 300 detectives, but the killer craved the spotlight. On April 17, 1977, in the Bronx, Valentina Suriani, 18, and Alexander Esau, 20, were executed in their car. Both shot twice at close range. 10. Nearby, police found a handwritten note addressed to Captain Joseph Borelli. "I am deeply hurt by your calling me a weeman, sick hater. I am not, but I am a monster. I am the son of Sam. I am a little brat. It rambled about Papa Sam, drinking blood, promising, I'll be back, with bullet-like exclamation marks. 11. The letter's creepy, misspelled prose sent shivers through the force. Then came the masterpiece of mockery, a letter to columnist Jimmy Breslin on May 30th, 1977, postmarked from New Jersey. Hello from the gutters of NYC, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood, it began, thanking Breslin for coverage and dubbing himself the Duke of Death and the Wicked King Wicker. 11. Teasing July 29th, the anniversary of his first kill. It sold over 1 million newspapers when partially published, fueling the frenzy. If these twisted tales from the underbelly of true crime are keeping you on the edge of your seat, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel for more in-depth investigations that dive even deeper into the darkness? The final strikes and the net closes. The summer of '77 boiled with dread. On June 26, Judy Placido, 17, and Sal Lupo, 20, survived shots after leaving a Queens disco, ironically discussing the killer moments before 10. Then, on July 31st, in Brooklyn's Bath Beach, Stacy Moskowitz, 20, and Robert Violante, 20, on their first date were blasted in Violante's Buick. Moskowitz, the first blonde victim, died hours later. Violante lost an eye. 10. Eyewitnesses spotted a suspicious man, and a parking ticket from that night traced to Berkowitz's yellow Ford Galaxy in Yonkers. The break came swiftly. On August 10, 1977, police surrounded his apartment, finding maps of crime scenes, a rifle, and ammo in his car. As they arrested the 24-year-old, he smirked, "Well, you got me. What took you so long?" 10. Inside, diaries revealed his descent into madness, confession, trial, and the lingering shadows. In interrogation, Berkowitz confessed within 30 minutes, spinning a wild yarn. A demon spoke through neighbor Sam Carr's black Labrador, Harvey, commanding blood. 11. Sam's a thirsty lad, he'd say, but psychologists pegged him as paranoid schizophrenic, driven by rejection and revenge. 11. He later recanted the demon tale as a hoax, claiming in the 90s he was part of a satanic cult performing ritual killings. Allegations dismissed, but fueling conspiracy theories. 11. Deemed competent, Berkowitz withdrew an insanity plea and pleaded guilty on May 8, 1978, to 6 murders, earning 25 years to life each, effectively life without parole. 10. Today, at 72, he's a born-again Christian at Shawangunk Correctional Facility, denied parole repeatedly, last in 2022. 11. Echoes of the Sun, a legacy that won't die. The Son of Sam saga didn't just scar New York. It birthed Son of Sam laws against profiting from crimes and inspired endless media. From Spike Lee's Summer of Sam to Netflix docs probing the cult claims, but questions linger. Was Berkowitz truly alone, or did darker forces lurk? The terror he unleashed reminds us how one man's demons can devour a city. If this thrill ride into the abyss has you hooked, subscribe to our YouTube channel now. We've got more unsolved mysteries and heart-pounding histories waiting to keep you up at night. What shadow will we uncover next?